we are basically pretending to be exercising assurance, but the system that we are operating itself doesn't lend itself to proper assurance.
Kuku says we are running like a Ponzi scheme.
Exactly. So if you ask me, you have an auditor who technically is an employee of the Parliament of Ghana. The Parliament of Ghana is toothless when the auditor reports to him and simply engages in talk show without prosecutorial powers. So technically, you have created an independent
Is
auditor.
it public accounts you are saying talk show?
Public accounts. They cannot go and prosecute anybody. They don't have those powers. And Parliament is the employer of the auditor. So yes, there is independence of the auditor away from the executive, but to what end? That is where the problem is. Look, before these irregularities, if the Auditor General goes to an institution and conducts an audit, during the process, when they find irregularities, they flag them. They give the heads of the agencies the right to explain away those irregularities so that they can, they can be satisfied with the data that they are getting. If they fail, they flag them. Then at the exit, when they are done, we have an exit conference where they will meet you and say, oh, we have come to do this audit, but these are the material things we have found that you have not been able to explain. Please, are you able to explain them to us now so that we'll strike them off? You are not able to explain. So they go away and say, okay, now we have done, we are going to formally document what you have done. So they go and write to you a management letter indicating all the infractions they have found and the impact of those infractions on the set of accounts. You are not able to explain away those matters. They report to your boss. Your boss only calls you to repeat the same conversations you have had at the Public Accounts Committee. You are done, they give you directives, go and implement these recommendations so that you don't sin no more. You go and sleep. The man who will make sure that those recommendations are implemented was Auditor, who is an internal auditor, who has to make sure that he has people on the ground in the various agencies who will take these recommendations and insist that at a minimum, these should be resolved and not be repeated. These are HND holders, and they are dealing with sophisticated engineers, lawyers, and financial controllers. So at the end of the day, they are not able to do anything. The following year, it is repeated on a large scale. I don't know whether you see where I'm going.
Yeah.
It's repeated on a large scale.
It's frightening.
Then the numbers are going up, and then we pretend that we are doing something only to end the cycle and continue. Look, Dr. Daniel Domlevo started something. We need to strengthen all the anti-corruption agencies. You cannot ask somebody who is not an energy expert to understand an energy contract. You cannot find an accountant who doesn't understand structural designs and how those structural designs become quantities that are priced in a contract. And you cannot ask an accountant who understands the legal implications of the terms and conditions of a contract. So these institutions must be served properly with this array of experts who in the course of the audit can say that the implication of all what I'm seeing is this and advise the accountant auditor to then apply his knowledge in assessing what he has been told. That doesn't exist. So when I go to an audit and I start seeing issues, immediately I have to flag those issues and ask the anti-corruption agencies to now send a team to come and assist me on that audit. Because there's a possibility that this audit will end up in a prosecution. So the evidence gathering must start with my work as an auditor. But this person who will prosecute is sitting there. He doesn't know what is happening. And I'm struggling with an audit. I finish the audit. I report. They call them to Public Accounts Committee. Then you send it to the auditor, the Attorney General. He now goes there to go and do what? By which time evidence is tampered. So the evidence gathering should start as part of the audit. And that there must be reforms to ensure that when the audit is ongoing and very serious matters are identified, the Auditor General should begin to work with the agencies that have the power to build a docket. So by the time they report to Parliament, you are already being questioned. They are already sifting through your documents. They are already reviewing your contracts, even before the report comes to Parliament. Sometimes the reports come to Parliament and you are beginning to deal with a Public Accounts Committee 3 years or 2 years before. Who does that? So we need to set up and undertake a proper reform to ensure that the ultimate of the audit is that there is a possibility that this will lead to a prosecution, and that the agencies that would have to take over from my work are already in the boat, also gathering their data. If there's nothing happening, I'm not flagging anything serious, we don't need them.
Okay.
But those instances where we need them, for instance, if you are talking about redemption of interest.
Yeah, interest. That's not retired.
I mean,
that's part of what he says is recoverable.
Yeah, so
I'm traveling, and some of these are to who? Your own employees.
I'm traveling. I've been giving money to go and pay for accommodation, transport, and all of that. I come back, and for a whole year, I've even lost memory of what I did there. It is equivalent to not even attending the program or incurring the cost. That's what it means. And those are not about an auditor. It's about the institutions itself and its compliance. Right. When you prepare the accounts at the end of the month and you pull out staff interest accounts, don't you get worried that the period that this activity was supposed to happen has elapsed, and ask questions why you are still keeping the money? And you are waiting for an auditor to come a year later to validate that.
Even though payroll-related issues decrease significantly, as we have seen in the 2024 audit, don't you think something should be done to kill this incentive for bloating employee numbers? Because there is always the validation that is done.
Yes.
And it is the heads of the institutions. If it's a school, it's the head teacher or headmaster somewhere. If they are being prosecuted, if they become the target of prosecution, don't you think this will reduce?
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is that there is no deterrent. Because it's a cycle. I just have to play within the cycle for another cycle to begin. Then they will turn their attention to the new cycle. Okay? And nobody comes back to what I did in the past. And if I can manage this cycle also, I move to the next.
Right. So
we need to be very serious with the way we implement these systems.
Right.
And people must be held accountable. To be honest with you, when I was being trained, I was told that trust is good, but control is better.
All right.
If somebody is controlled, it doesn't mean he doesn't trust you. But he himself doesn't trust himself, let alone to trust you. So he has to make sure that things are right.
In teaching the law of evidence, we will be told that even if it is told, you are told that it is